Yeah, yeah. Coming up on Mental Health Marty, we are back and I got the crew with me, Dr. Story, my brother Rob, and none other than the Bishop. You know how we do it. Topics in the Black community. Stay tuned. What's going on, everybody? Listen, I was trying to go live to let everyone know we are back. Where you been? How you been? Listen, life has happened and things are going so fast. I had to take a quick unannounced break, but we are back. And listen, so glad to have the team here with us. And listen, let me know how you're doing. I know it's been, y'all thought I disappeared, but I'm still here live and in living color. Yes, Martina Sellers, your mental health hygienist, to tell you to stop the stinking thinking. Why and how do we do that? We got to speak up. We got to speak out, and we have to live. Let me know how you're doing. Listen, hope you're doing well. I missed you guys, but like I said, life has happened and we just tried to take care of some things. And so we're going to get back on the roll of this. And we've, listen, tell you how much life has happened. We got snow here in Southern California. That's how much life has happened. It's raining today, and we can't sing that song, It Never Rains in Southern California. Tony, y'all got to get a new song because it does rain out here in Southern California. We hope we get enough rain to take out the drought. Yes, Janice, Sister Janice, good to see you. And to the Mac, hey, Mac in the back, you know how it is, the Mac in the back. Daryl's doing what he do. And can I say also to Mrs. Mitchell, listen, happy belated birthday. We love you, dear. We appreciate you always being an amazing fan of Mental Health Marty. And to my son, whose birthday is this coming Friday, happy birthday, Christian. And my sister, yes, this is a real sister here. My sister, Tasha, you know I got nothing but love. Bob, we're going to wish our sister a happy birthday. Hers is on Thursday the 16th. My son's on Friday the 17th, and cousin, shout out to my deceased cousin, Miss Audrey Matthews, who is the 19th, or is hers in April? Anyway, listen, how you doing? Let me remind you what we are all about Mental Health Marty. The Mental Health Marty Show is a psychoeducational program. We are not a substitute for you seeing your therapist, your psychologist, your psychiatrist, your doctor, your dentist, your priest, your pastor, your mentor, any of those things, but we want to bring knowledge to our BIPOC communities, letting you know that mental health, it's okay that we have a mental health situation. Does not necessarily mean we have a mental health diagnosis, because we all at some point are going to have some anxiety. We all at some point are going to feel depressed. We all at some point are going to feel a lot of edge that goes on in the world because of everything that goes on in our lives. However, if you're experiencing any type of psychiatric emergency, please go to your nearest urgent care emergency room or dial 988 from any phone, which is the new amazing mental health helpline so that you can get the necessary help that you need. Now, how do you stay in contact with us? Listen, the best way to engage with us, if you're on Facebook, if you're on any other channel, listen, go to our Mental Health Marty YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe, and then definitely you will be notified every time. Yes, there it is. When you hear that bell, you know that you have subscribed and that you will be notified of any and all shows that are going on. And we are back. Ronnie, good evening. Thank you for coming back. Listen, let all my people, let them know we are back and we are live. And listen, we are back doing this March 19th. That's right, Amy. I knew it was March 19th. I got confused. So to Audrey, yes. March 17th must be a lucky lad. Oh goodness, and listen, he's a Laker fan, so he does not like the green from the Celtics. Drives him crazy. But what are we here for tonight? We are here talking about hot topics in the Black community. What are we talking about? Hot Topics Tuesdays, wellness in our community, as we're going to talk about Christ, culture, and what's the other one, Daryl? Community. That's it. Christ, culture, and community, and everything else that comes along with it. But I'm so glad to have, she is just a regular, my co-host. We do some, I was going to call it Welfare Wednesdays. Y'all know I am tired, but it's Wellness Wednesdays. My sister from another mister, all the way in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. So glad to have her. I miss her like crazy. None other than the Reverend Dr. Marguerita Story. How you doing, darling?
Baby, my welfare. I'm checking out. I said he better have a welfare Wednesday, honey, when we help everybody learn how to fill out that documentation. That's what we put on Wednesday. I'm doing so wonderful, Marty. I miss being together with my family.
Oh my God, I miss you so much. Yes.
You. Me too. You, Rob, Sean, it is so good. And then
And the Mac in the back.
Baby,
Mac in the back.
Yeah, honey. We all enjoy being in one another's presence, and I'm so grateful to God
Yes.
to be here once more. And again, I love you.
Likewise. Miss Tanya Hill, so good to see you, darling. Listen, we back, baby. And missed you at church, but I know, listen, Tanya holds it down. She got about 6 churches. She makes sure she supports, and I love folk like that. Listen, she makes sure we on cue and doing what we got to do. Yes.
Kingdom.
Yes, she is. So we share her with about all these other churches. But how you been? Listen, you have been traveling here. You've been down to Texas. You're about to join me in Ohio exactly about a month from now. And so we are so excited. How you been?
I'm going to be in California. I'm doing good. Sugar.
Wait a minute. When you coming back out here?
Y'all ain't shut the door to California. I'm going to be out there April the 28th through the 29th at a conference there in Southern California. Yes, indeed. And we'll be getting that information out. But been traveling. I was in Dallas, Texas, and
come on,
other
Dallas. Oh, you must have
areas.
ate good. You ate good because Dallas got some good food.
Baby, look, I am going to be on a fast for at least the next 6 weeks, because when I tell you, they had me eating at Buc-ee's. I don't know if anybody that heard of
I saw your picture at Buc-ee's.
Baby, Buc-ee's a gas station, and Buc-ee's makes some of the best brisket. Oh my God. I dined elephantly. I had such a great time with the people of God. We were outside of Dallas in White Wright, Texas.
Okay.
And I just was so blessed to be there. But I'm going to be in Florida at the top of April. I'm going to be, that
yes. Can we take our offertory for a private jet, Jesus? Yes.
Well, or at least a
Jesus
helicopter.
Jetway.
I mean, because I know how y'all money work. If y'all can only do a helicopter, I understand. But God has been so good, and then to be back with you. But I did want to tell you, we got to give a shout out to Mother Verdi, because Mother Verdi is our 95-year-old.
Thank you. Come on, Mother.
If she doesn't catch us on, Mother Verdi makes sure that she catches us later on. And she says it's such a rich blessing that she wanted me to let you know that
Yes.
that when you're not there, that's an essential part of what she does,
Wow.
and she loves you like cook food.
Listen, I love Mother Verdi. She is so sweet and amazing, and I've known her
She
for now
is.
almost 15 years. And listen, Mother has been the same. She has not aged at all. Mother looks good.
She
Mother
does.
looks
She
good.
does. She does. But she loves the hot topics, because it brings her
Wonderful.
in and gives her a different perspective. And
Yes.
she loves
Yes.
the Wellness Wednesdays, but she also loves the mental health aspect of it. And we've got to
Yes.
do a piece though for our seniors.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so if we
okay.
could get our seniors and do a piece for them, I think that'll be helpful and hopeful for
Yes.
them.
And
Yeah,
let me say
I
this
love
too.
it.
Happy Women's Month as well. We want to acknowledge
Thank you.
the great work
Thank
that women do in
Yeah,
March.
thank you.
And definitely we want to celebrate you, Dr. Story, and all the amazing philanthropic work that you definitely do in giving
God
back to the
bless you.
community from
God bless
a
you.
ministerial point of view, from a personal point of view, the daughters dialogue and all that you do to help elevate women and to help get them past their hurts, their hangups, and whatever that might be. So we salute you, Dr. Story, and
God bless
all
you.
the amazing work that you do, and know that we love you with all our
Love
heart.
you. Bless you.
Definitely. And so, Dr. Story, I'm so glad to have my brother. This is my real brother. Listen, he is the one who inspired me to keep doing all this podcasting and some of these other things. And he is really the reader of the family, the political giant of the family. Listen, I don't know politics nearly as well as he does. And he really is the historian. And I'm so glad that he is leading this effort in our family with the Lee Sellers Scholarship Foundation. And I'm so glad that he is not just a brother, but he is a friend. You know how you can have family members who are, they're just family, but this is truly a friend that I love with all my heart. That he will give me his left arm, I think. No, or whatever he has, but none other than my brother Rob Sellers.
Hey,
Hey, what's
Rob.
up, everybody? Far too kind, far
Bobby!
too kind on that introduction. Far too kind on that introduction. Far too kind. I appreciate it though. I'm gonna run with it.
Yes,
Anytime I
yes,
can get
run
any
with it.
praise from my brother, I'm gonna run with it. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah,
going to.
because
Yes.
you know
And
why,
then and shout out
Dr.
to
Story, you know why?
happy
He just loves his siblings. Yeah, he loves it because don't even try it. We know why. But I'm sending mom to your house this week. So don't even worry about it. Then you can show us our love that way. Mom, don't say nothing because I know you're watching. Love you.
regardless of any type of negative energy I'm feeling at that moment that he just spoke
There's no
upon
negativity.
dropping mom's off, it's okay. It's okay. It's like, hey, as long as we got shelter, as long as we got love, that's all we need in the house, mama. That's all we need
Yes.
is 4 walls, a roof, and love. You know what I'm saying? So, mom,
Oh,
don't
my
worry
God.
about it. I love my siblings regardless. If they want to badmouth me, if they want to talk to me, it's okay. It's okay. I love my siblings. I love them. They
Most
keep
definitely,
me on the straight, narrow path. They keep me on the straight, narrow path. I'm the middle child. So you know how that goes, ladies and gentlemen. All you middle childs out there, shout out to the middle childs. We all know what's best for us. But therefore, thank you, my brother. Seeing everybody up on here once again, it's always love. It's always love.
Yes.
Now, Bobby, you got to tell us. Mike, keep it.
Yeah.
See, you're trying to win mom just because she's downstairs. But Bobby, you have been.
Much love.
Rita, Bobby has been coaching this year. Talk to us
Yes.
about your coaching experience. And shout out because Bobby is an amazing coach. He's actually excellent with kids and everything. So he coached basketball this year and really was leave Bendo alone. And has done a superb job. Bobby, how was that experience? And I love it because you're showing us how we can get involved in our community. You being not having children, but definitely loving. You got tons of nieces and nephews now coaching. Yeah. How was that experience for you? And how do you tell other men, especially Black men, on how to get involved in other young men's lives?
Well, I mean, we have to do it some way, some shape, some form. Basketball, always love the game, so it's easy to me. It's something I enjoy, and just watching people, especially our youth, see them grow, see the progression, seeing them change as far as, the input you can affect on them. It's helpful.
Right.
And also it's just also giving back. It's there's stats out there. Don't take my word, look it up. But whenever there's positive male role models around, the kids do better. The kids do good. So I'm just trying to, play my part. It's time that I give back, and I decided to get into coaching and see where it goes.
Excellent. Well, hey, Bob, I appreciate what you do and everything, but we got one more coming in. Can't leave him out. All the way. Listen, he's normally in Houston. He just had to drive to Dallas, but we're so glad to have this brainiac and this man of God in the building himself. Can the church say amen? I wish someone would put me in A flat.
Amen.
So we can just go have and then have a B flat buck. None other than the bishop himself, the Bishop Reverend Dr. Sean Stewart.
Good evening, family. How is everybody? Hey, Dr.
What's
Story,
happening?
good to see you. Beautiful. Good. Welcome
Good.
back, Coach. We've missed you.
Yeah.
We have missed
Miss you too, Bishop.
Yeah,
Miss you too, Bishop.
it ain't been right since you've been gone, especially behind the scenes. The gentleman behind the scenes, and
The Mac in the back.
and the professor. Yeah, and we hadn't had a chance to pull out our pens, bro. So it's good to have you back with us.
Right.
Thank you. Same here, my brother. All mutual.
Yes. See, we all got a pen.
Taking notes. I'm taking notes.
Oh, he got several. Listen, Darren, we may have to play that clip one day, and just so that everybody know what we're laughing at. But listen, I don't know why I lost all my pens that day. But let me say this: I'm so excited that. Isn't it great to have the whole crew back, Sister Janice? I'm with you. I'm so excited about having the crew back. I feel at home now. I feel like we're about to pick up. But listen, we want to invite you on Saturday, April 15th. If you just so happen to be in the Ohio area, in Central Ohio, we are going to have none other than the Bishop Sean Stewart and the lovely Dr. Reverend Margarita Story. Margarita is definitely our keynote speaker to our first annual Dr. Lee Sellers Scholarship Foundation. And Bob, do you want to talk to us a little bit about this? Because this was definitely part of your vision and why we feel as a family it's so important to give back to our community, especially those going to HBCUs.
Yeah, no doubt, man. My whole thing is, hey, when it's all said and done, we got to help each other, And, with that being said, just decided to, in honor of one of our ancestors, our uncle, Lee Sellers himself, we just wanted to go ahead and see what we could do for our youth as far as try to assist them in some type of financial being as far as to help them get through their studies. Because a lot of times, basically make a long story short, like I said, we just got to be in better communication with our youth.
That's right.
There's a lot of people out there have a lot of wealth, not only monetarily, but also mentally. And we can just get down as far as help these kids to make sure that, we that they're doing the job they need to as far as being overall well-developed human beings. If we can help them educationally, I'm with it. And that's what we came up with as far as getting a scholarship. Like I said, celebrate our ancestor, our uncle, Dr. Lee Sellers. And we figured, obviously, we want to give back to our community. Therefore, he is a Wilberforce University alum. So why not take it back to Wilberforce to help out the community?
Yes. First, Auntie Caressa, which baby you talking to? Now, I'm the oldest, so I'm assuming it was me. Just because you and Rob got the same birthday, they actually have the same birthday on November 17th. But
shout out to Scorpios out there. Shout out to Scorpios.
But since we're talking about HBCUs, I didn't go to an I know. I didn't go out to an HBCU, but I do value that of college education. Dr. Sean, can you definitely talk to us about why is it so? Clark, we hear Clark Atlanta. The Mac in the back is telling me he went to Clark Atlanta in the back. We love y'all, but Dr. Sean Bishop, can you tell us why is it so imperative that we not forget about our HBCUs and that we give back even $20 a month, $5? It can make a huge difference.
I went to the finest HBCU God put on earth, and because
Uh-oh.
God believes in hills, He put us on Prairie View A&M University, or as we call it, the Hill.
The Hill.
And so the Hill, yes, sir. And the HBCU experience was designed because blacks did not have a right to go to white institutions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they
Mm-hmm.
created their own institution to elevate and expand and educate our own so that we could level the playing field in professional settings.
Yes, yes.
Now HBCUs have to compete, especially in red states where they're taking away DEI as a part of hiring and admission practices. So now we need to be able to leverage our abilities to fund, support scholarships that get students back to historically black colleges and universities, not just because of they're black, but to connect them back to their culture, to the relative history that they're not allowed to learn in Florida, that some other states are getting ready to take away. That has nothing to do with critical race theory, but it is critical that you know your race in theory. So I want to be clear that,
wait.
You understand.
Dr. Bishop, you're not going to run past that. It's not about critical race theory, but it's what?
It is about you critically knowing the race and the theory that you've come from. You have to know where you come from. Your past does not dictate. Your past doesn't dictate your future. Your past impacts your present. You have a lot to say about your future, but you must know where you come from. The HBCU experience opens you up to that level of learning. So then when you get into a place and they talk about that there should not be a discussion of reparations because slavery didn't happen, I disagree. Even if you go to the 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue where certain people presided, that house is the people's house that was built on the back of slaves.
Of black people.
And I'm not saying that we shouldn't engage in truthful conversation. I am saying that the dialogue that is required in HBCUs is not always carried in other D1 or other institutions.
Excellent.
And the scholarships, the money, the connections are important. We have to, and don't just give it once. It is the perpetual continuation that, because if we get the kids in, but we don't help them stay in, then we're killing their matriculation.
That's right. That part.
Oh, that's
that
so
part.
good. Dr. Story, go ahead. Talk to us some more about that, Dr. Story.
No, I didn't go to an HBCU either. But one of the reasons why I didn't go to an HBCU was because there were more alum who were supporting other schools, which enabled individuals like me, not because I needed somebody to lower a standard, because that was not it. I was able to not only meet the mark, but I was also able the mark and exceed it. Let me just say that. But I was able to get a hold of monies. And one of the things I had to find out was about these systems and structures are definitely what Sean is bringing up is that there are alum that are not just going to give their $100 and walk away, but they're ensuring that they are providing consistent and continual support to their universities and colleges in order to keep them open. And one of the disservices that we've done in this generation and the one previous is we've allowed those schools to close down, and we've got more access to money, funding, education, capacity than even our parents did, who were the ones who ensured that these
come on, talk to us, Dr. Story.
Areas or these schools were available to us. And it's a dirty shame that we're doing this. And so I appreciate the Lee Sellers Foundation being even raised up, because if y'all got one child, y'all could get all the way through school. That's incredible. And we don't think like that our little bit partnered with the little bit of others could change community and could change our nation, because we don't know who we're educating or giving access to information. And so I'm down like full flat tires with this because that made it important for you guys to see it. But as I was going through, it made it a financial burden on my family, because it wasn't two or three of us. And because I also was participating in white schools, they weren't thinking about getting access to me at all. And so
No.
you could be like I was. I graduated early at the top of my class, and they were like, "Girl, see ya." You know, because
Right.
we're not always making sure that we're bringing in our best and our brightest. And so I
Mhm.
appreciate what Sean has said, but we better get to thinking about it because our access is going to start being smaller once again to those places and spaces, and our halls of academia are going to get narrowed, and our capacity to go through and have an impact on generations to come is going to be limited unless we're investing in something that no
I
one can
totally
ever
agree.
take away from us, and that's our
Mhm.
education.
Can I say this too? Because you brought up a major point there that these schools were built on the nickels and dimes and quarters and the
Yeah.
sacrifices of our grandparents and great grandparents that did not make nearly the income that we did. And I agree with you. I think it's an atrocity that we have allowed schools to close that have been there to help educate and promote us into positions that we could not have gotten there had it not been for the blood, sweat, and tears that was laid down. I think one of the greatest travesties that in Christendom and Black Christendom that happened is
But
when we
Bishop College,
allowed Bishop College. Come on, talk to when we allowed Bishop College to close. That should not have happened. And when we
listen,
look at these
down
universities, come on, talk to us, Dr. Story. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead,
my
go ahead.
dad is an alum. He was an alum of Bishop College. When I tell you
Yes,
them people were there crying real tears about that
yes,
place closing. But no one was sitting up at a table putting strategy together. And I'm talking about these are brilliant people now
yes.
that didn't come together and put strategy together to make sure that they could pass that thing on. I'm telling you, that thing
It's a
it hurts
shame.
me because it's a
Yes.
low down dirty shame. And some of the names that came out of Bishop College, some of their church uh, 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 annual budgets are higher than the budget of that doggone school. Now I'm gonna say that,
Tell me
not
about
me.
now. Yeah, Bishop. For those who may not know what and who Bishop College was, is a travesty that we don't have anymore. Share with those who don't know what the great Bishop College really was, and
Bishop
all
College,
the Mhm.
Bishop College hails right out of Dallas, Texas, in
Yes, it
South
does.
Dallas, I would like to say,
South
and
Dallas.
South Dallas, right? And it hails some of the giants of the faith. You're
Mm,
talking
Yes,
like
mm.
the Reverend Dr. Ralph Douglas West, Benny Davis. You're
EK.
talking about Five,
yes,
E.K. Bailey.
Yeah.
You're talking about Dr. F.D. Sampson Sr. You're talking about
Samson.
what I
yes,
Yes.
call yes, preaching royalty of the church who
yes.
would attend on the campus of Bishop. They used to make the statement that if you didn't go to Bishop, you couldn't preach. Bishop
Right.
College is what we now call the ITC of Texas, if you will. And it died because there was embezzlement. Let's just put it out there. There was embezzlement.
Mhm.
There
It
was
was.
no accountability. And because there was no accountability and because there was an embezzlement, there was no ability to build a transition plan or to build
Yes,
longevity, right?
yes,
And so because
yes.
of that, it has caused us to reach what I call a snag, and it did close. But now here is the thing, and Dr. Story is right. A lot of people's annual operating budget is for
Yes.
their church. They
Church.
are not invested in creating opportunities in the way that they were created back then.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same level of investment. When we look at that, Bishop's College presented some of the world's, Dr. Samuel Dewitt Proctor came there and just
Yes,
demolished
sir.
them. And you could not, if you sat at the Bishop's College just for the conference
Right.
on preaching, it was as if you sat through a semester of Old Testament, New Testament survey with homiletics and
Yes,
exegetical practice.
yes,
The way that they dealt with the social injustice, the cultural injustice, the
yes,
financial injustice, and the way that they were able to speak to it, that the church was the beacon light that drove
yes,
all of those things. You look at Dr. Lawson, Wheeler Avenue, and Dr. Marcus Cosby, who
Yes.
was his successor.
Yes.
You
yes,
see that kind of movement in place. And if you watch what Dr. Cosby's doing, all he did was expand the foundation he was given, and he didn't get away from the principles of people investment.
Let me say this, though, Sean. Right. People investment. Let me say this, though. There was embezzlement at Bishop College, but there was embezzlement also at the National Baptist Convention USA Incorporated, where their president had to go to jail, and that institution is still going on. So there is a way, when you are concerned enough about it, for you to ensure that that institution does not have to die just because somebody has made an error. I just want to put that out there. It's because we did not ensure that building didn't do nothing wrong. Those students didn't do nothing wrong. Them teachers didn't do nothing wrong. And for us to have to roll all of that up, and for us to not have that institution still here is a shame. Now, I didn't want to call nobody's name, but I could tell you the president who was able to still hold on to his church and be quiet is what Sean said. So I'm gonna be, we gotta care.
Listen, we gotta care. We got hot topics, baby. We got hot topics.
Hey, but you know what?
Go ahead, Bobby.
Go ahead.
But you know what? I mean, not only do we have to watch out, obviously, I would say the fighting that we have going on with ourselves, meaning that we're not supporting one another. We spend over $1 trillion annually, us Black folks in America. So therefore, what was going on, the colleges that you guys were just talking about, we have to be careful about some of the politics that's going on too. For instance, Sean, correct me if I'm right.
Politics.
What went down? What went down with the president? What went down with the president at Texas A&M? Because she was well renowned. My fault. Prairie View. My fault. Prairie
View. Dr. Ruth Simpson. Yeah, Dr. Simmons.
Yes. And what is it? Texas? What is it? The Texas A&M Regency?
The Board of Regents.
The board or whatnot?
Texas A&M Board of Regents.
Yes. Go ahead. Explain that. We got to be careful with that too.
So
Go ahead.
They tapped her out of retirement and asked her to come lead Prairie View. It was only supposed to be a 1-year deal. She stayed 6. And so Dr. Simmons is not a yes lady. So she's not going to bend to the rules that they say. She's not going to make decisions that align outside of the scope of what's in the best interest of the students and the staff at the university. And so because of that, they reached a breaking point where, she didn't have to. And basically what it is, if you watch what's happening in the politics, part of the issue is getting rid of DEI. Another thing is the way funding is happening. And so because they couldn't steamroll her and she had academic and professional street credit, you couldn't just push her any way. And so because you couldn't, you tried to move on and move her out of there. She said, look, I'll do you one better. I'll quit. But then as she resigned, then they wanted to restrict her authority to just be president in title only. And she said that she didn't have to. And she explained, listen, instead of waiting till the end of the academic semester, I'm going to let y'all have this on March 1 and I'm out. And that's exactly what she did. Well, the Board of Regents clapped back. Well, you know what? We let everybody make this decision. And her response was not true. So at the moment, she left because of the Board of Regents. Prairie View A&M University is a part of the Texas A&M University system. And so we are subject to their decisions, whether we like them or not. Our president is supposed to be our doorkeeper, our advocate. However, the new person has to come in. So this is what they did. Oh, we gave y'all another Black female, the second female in history, to lead the school. What you gave us is a professional walking carpet that when you walk in and say, this is what you want, this is what that person will do, because they are not totally invested into what we need as an institution as much as they are invested in what they need as a professional to move up in the next institution.
Sir?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So what you got a history lesson that's part of. Yeah. So that's part of what's going on. We have to be careful what's going on, paying attention to what's going on, because not only that, there's some BS going on at Jackson State. State officials coming in. What it is, all that money going to these HBCUs.
That's right.
Those other
now we want
others, the enemies. They're trying to get their hand on this money.
But that's why we have to have our own regulatory systems. Yes.
But that's the same thing that's happening even in traditional school districts, like right here in Texas, Houston Independent School District. And we had a superintendent by the name of Dr. Grenita Latham. TEA got upset about some of the academics. Next thing you know, they say, we're going to come in and take the school district over. And so Dr. Latham had some wise counsel, and she put an adjective in front of her name, in front of her title, and she went from being superintendent to interim superintendent, because you can't take over a district unless you have a named superintendent. If she's interim, you can't fire what does not exist. You can't take over without that person being in place. She fixed everything, the academics, the funding. The only thing she could not fix was the board. They all resigned, quit, or got voted out anyway. And then they wouldn't hire her because they said she was combative. No, she was combative because you forgot who she was. You asked her to come up. She wasn't looking for a job. And some of our Hispanic community members kind of came. They wanted to hire the superintendent prior, who actually was put out for embezzlement and academic dishonesty. But you wanted to call him back because he was a Mexican Hispanic American. To the extent you made a motion to fire her and hire that person back on live TV in a live board meeting. So then when the black folks snapped back, then all of a sudden y'all want to dial in. And so then now TEA is saying, now that we have a named black superintendent male, now you want to come in and say, we're going to take over the school district. So the mayor of Houston has now went public and said, listen, y'all, they say they're going to come take us over. And the governor and the commissioner said that they were so nice, we're going to give you a 24-hour notice to let you know we're coming. Mayor Sylvester Turner went public with that, and the folk have been lighting them up. We're not saying that HISD has not had its academic issues. It has. We're not saying HISD did not have its own financial issues. It has. But what I'm noticing is that the school districts that have minorities in leadership, minorities in boards, seem to be the school districts that always have the biggest issues with the unminorities in state and federal leadership that have issues with them as a person, as a profession, and as a political correspondent. Parenthetically.
He said the unminorities.
Right.
I want to leave that alone.
Speaking. Yeah, I'm going to leave the minorities. Yes.
Now, the one thing I wanted to go back to that y'all went to, I wanted to stamp this about scholarships. We oftentimes give scholarships for students who are, academically thriving, right? They make ABs and all of that kind of stuff. I would like to put this on the mind of everybody. Don't forget about the students who are special ed that are BC students. Right. Let's be sure that we create an avenue for them to get to college and to stay, to help them get in and to finish matriculation. Yes, they have a disability, but they can academically thrive just as well as anybody else when given the opportunity to show you their academic skill set by giving them their accommodations. But a lot of times when we look at scholarships, they're only designed for the kids who make A's and B's. We don't ever look at the kids that are tweeners. And when I say tweeners, they're B's and C's and they're struggling, but their C's and D's or B's and C's is actually their A's with accommodations. So I just want to put that out there that when we start talking about scholarships, that we really do look at giving it to students who might not be in the top 15% of the class, the lower 50%.
But I like it, but I also believe. Okay, I'm sorry. Go on, Marty.
No, just real quick, Dr. Story. I think because we a lot of times we liken disability as disqualified because I'm being very impolitically correct here, because it does not equate dumb. You know how we say they just dumb. No, they have a disability and they should not be disqualified, but they definitely need some support. And that's what we're trying to do with this Dr. Lee Sellers Scholarship, because we want to definitely give it to, when we look at our grandmother, Lucille Sellers, she was a single woman, a single mother with 5 children. Yeah, 5. I had to count real quick. And that made sure that our uncle made it through college and everything. So we want to definitely look out for that particular demographic as well, to make sure that we're not discounting them. And maybe their best is, like you're saying, a B or a C, but we want to support them in that academia, in that HBCU, to let them know that they have a group that's behind them. Dr. Story, go ahead with what you're saying.
Right. But even with what Janice is saying on here, they need access. They don't not only need access, they need assistance to being as strong as they can be, because
Yes.
I have met many that are special needs that have been able to get in colleges, but have not been able to get the assistance that they need so that they can matriculate also through
Right.
the halls of academia. So, as we are also talking about that, we also need to be ensuring that our schools are adequately set up to assist those individuals to living their best lives and achieving as
Yes.
they can. And so that's the other thing, that it's not enough to throw money at it. We've got to also throw
That's good.
personnel, and we've got to put support behind that as well, just like they're doing in some of the lower level education areas. Because I do know quite a few that are in school. I have a niece that has Asperger's, and she is
Mm-hmm.
incredible on one end
Oh, they're
and
brilliant.
needs assistance, but there's not always assistance already in some of those locations. And so we do need to press for that as well, because there are a lot more of our kids who have learning disabilities and things like that, or other abled individuals that need us.
Yes, Jonathan, good to see you, brother. We supposed to be getting out together for lunch and everything, but can we put that comment that Jonathan just had up there too, Daryl? Jonathan said disabilities is starting the conversation or stating a person as a deficit as opposed to difficult
Different abilities.
abilities as an individual, as an asset to our community. So agree, because
Absolutely.
just yeah, everyone is an asset, and if we teach people what their strengths are, listen, I'm not good in everything. I don't do money management and accounting. Now, put me right. I have an amazing CFO, and she's killing the game to make sure we have money in the bank. If you left it up to me, we might be broke by now. With that, sing beyond their disability. Sister Flo, you're absolutely right. You're right. And that's why we want to make sure we're doing a difference. Listen, yeah, I'm loving this conversation because it's a conversation that we need to have. And can I say this? We want to encourage, find out what you can do and encourage our children to just take a chance to go to these HBCUs. When you are getting denied from the traditional schools, HBCUs wrap their arms around our students. Listen, you might meet, and I'm so grateful for it. She's probably deceased now, but I will never forget Miss Ophelia, who was in the lunch line, who made sure I ate every day. And she's like, listen, you come over here because, see, I'm your mama away from home, and I cook these green beans here, and don't you come up here till you eat my food that you did. And so it's that loving kindness that our community looked after us, and that's what our students are going to get at the HBCUs. And so whether you have a 2.0 GPA, 2.5, 3.0, apply. Try it out. You have nothing to lose. We want you to exceed well and do well because you're helping to uplift the entire community, and know that we care. And if you have a question, listen, DM any one of us and we will help you through that process. We realize that some education is not for everyone, but I believe everyone can be a learner. Everyone can learn wherever you are at. And Dr. Sean, talk to
also. Just for a second, if you have a student going to college and they have need for academic support, or they have a documented disability, if they have a 504 plan or IEP document, on every college institution, be it post-secondary or four-year university or junior college, they have an office of disability or office of academic support. All you got to do is go take your most current document to them. Then they will assign staff and personnel. By law, they are required to do that. And if you take your most recent document in, give that to them, they will assign you your accommodations. Be sure your professors know about them. And then you can actually have support in a college classroom. So you don't have to sit there and academically fail when you actually have access to those supports. You just got to go be your own advocate, go in there, show yourself, get your accommodations, and then go back and pass your class. And so I just want to be
That's
clear
right.
that yes,
thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that.
because the
Can you
advocacy
explain what
sits
an
on your
IEP and a
part.
504 plan is? Because a lot of people still may not
Yes, sir.
understand fully what an IEP and 504. It's nothing
I
big.
just
Go
wrote that
ahead.
down, by the way. I just wrote that down. I
Okay.
had no idea. That's why I got the pens taking notes. Go ahead.
Yes.
So let's look at a 504 and an IEP as
Yes.
opposed to a Tahoe and a Yukon. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So
Yes.
a 504 gets you some bells and whistles. 504 gets you accommodations.
Yes.
You need to be,
Yes.
you can get on 504 for medicine if you have a medical diagnosis, and you can go turn in that document and the doctor can prescribe accommodations, and those accommodations are filled out in the 504 plan. You meet once a
Yes.
year to review your accommodations, and then that document goes out to the general ed teacher, and the general ed teacher is responsible for implementing those accommodations in the classroom. When you talk about IEP, then you're looking at the Yukon Denali side of things. That's when you buy a person. That's when you get a co-teacher. That's when you get pull-out services. That's when you get to go to small group instruction in another classroom. That's when your teacher is giving lesson plans. Your general ed teacher is giving lesson plans to the sped teacher, and that person is actually working with that teacher to build a bridge. So the general ed teacher and the sped teacher work in partnership. So when you start looking at an IEP, you actually get all of those accommodations plus supportive pull-out services, and you get an actual person. Okay.
Yes.
And then with that IEP, it comes with goals and objectives that have to be measured every grading cycle that speaks to how your student is performing. And you should meet annually to review those things. Every 3 years, your child should be evaluated to determine. And let me say this for all of those who are listening. If your child is due for an evaluation, a full individual evaluation, do not consent to a read evaluation if your child is in high school. Because we only evaluate every 3 years, have a full individual evaluation done, because that document then transfers with you to college. Then you can use it to get your accommodation, right? And it verifies your disability.
See, you're saying something, because if you've missed that, then by the time they're getting into college, they don't have the documentation necessary. So that's why I'm hearing the other side. So you're saying this is available, but when you don't do what you need to do or the necessary things in high school, you end up interrupting or impeding potentially what they have access to in college. Because I'm like, I ain't saying this because I ain't experienced it, but I didn't have the full information like you're talking about for these high schoolers and how they ought to be tested for themselves. So thank you for sharing that, Sean. My God.
Yeah,
and they have to be within compliance. Can you talk about, Sean? Yeah, Dr. Stewart, can you talk about the compliancy? Because a lot of times we don't know about compliancy, and that as soon as you request one, that's when the time start clicks, and they have a certain time to get you evaluated in that period of time. If not, you can go back to the district and say, listen, you are denying my child of an education, and then you got some legal ramifications that can happen as a result of that as well. That's what we don't know too when it comes to these IEPs.
Right. So IEPs are legal binding documents that are attached to the school district. Funding is attached to that. Teacher certification is attached to that. Principal certification is attached to that. Funding is attached to that. So a parent has a right to request a child be evaluated. And if you write a note and say it, and this is one of the things that I tell anybody that I serve as an advocate for, if you don't write about it, it does not exist. So I always encourage everybody, send an email, because they might have selective amnesia, but the server does not. Yeah, the server does not. And we can go find it if you send it. So put it in writing, and then you can request the test, and you need to explain why you are requesting evaluation.
Yes.
And let me be clear, parents can request an evaluation and teachers can request an evaluation. So let's be clear about both ends. On both sides, you still need to tell me why that kid should be evaluated. And from your perspective. From there, we have 10 school days to respond to your request in writing and say, hey, you know what? Listening to what you're talking about, we don't think this kid needs to be, and they have a right to say no. if depending on what you're asking for. And then they also have a right to say yes. And if so, once we say yes, then you have 45 school days. So let's be clear, school days and calendar days are not the same.
Different.
So you could run into 5 months of evaluation because of the way holidays hit, the way breaks hit, the way weekends hit. So just know it's not a quick process, but it is a process that has a timeline. Once you finish those 45 days, the evaluation specialist, either it's a licensed school support psychologist or educational diagnostician, will call you and say, hey, I want to go over this examination with you. And it could be anywhere from 10 to God knows how long of an evaluation. The biggest one I've ever seen was
30 pages. Yeah, oh, wow.
I've seen some 80-page evaluations.
And Dr. Stewart, you can also bring in your support team with you when they're doing and reviewing that, because you have a right as a parent to say, I want my therapist there, I want my pastor there, I want the mentor there, all of those people to come and support this child. And I always say we need to get the support on the family and child side as well. I love this. In higher education, contact disability services, Dr. Jonathan, we got to have you on here because you're an expert of the department for your major and teachers. Even if you don't need them in that moment, please have them in place throughout your academic endeavors. It is so important.
That's right.
And so this show has turned into about how to navigate swiftly through the educational system and the importance of not only education, but our HBCUs. And we just want to equip you with everything so that the more you know, the more you're empowered to support your children. And that's what we want to, and even support yourself.
May I explain one thing to what you said?
Yes, please.
You can invite whoever you want to your meeting. Just be sure you give the district notice. If you don't give a give a school district notice that you are bringing certain people, then they actually can table the or reschedule. Yes. So not deny you. We just reschedule the meeting. We don't call it a denial.
Yes.
Right, we just reschedule the meeting.
Thank you, politically correct.
We reschedule the meeting because if you bring an advocate, then we need to be sure that there's someone that of equal authority at the table. If you bring a lawyer, we need to be sure we have a general counsel from our side at the table also to ensure that accountability and due process is afforded on both sides of the table.
Excellent. Thank you.
The last thing I wanted to stamp is you don't have, just because you get the evaluation done, you don't have to agree to put the kid in special ed, but you do have to at least go to the meeting and hear what they're presenting and then ask your questions, right? And then if you decide to put the kid in, then if they don't follow that IEP, you have federal laws and due process that are awarded to you that you can execute that will require some response. So it's not, now the only drawback I have about special ed is when you get your child there, the only thing that wears my nerves then is that we forget that our child is there until they fail.
Yes.
So I want to encourage parents, you need to be partners with your teachers. Don't wait till the failure. Good. Don't wait till they call you and tell you Sean and showed showed himself in school and you know what I'm saying? Rita.
Baby, I was right there. I was like, hold on, Bishop.
Rita. So,
Bishop.
Rita. So if you don't wait
for
something
negative, Pastor Bishop.
Be sure you connect with your teachers. Don't wait for them to call you to tell you something bad or good. You call them to find out what's going on. And if it sounds tragic, if it smells tragic, it is tragic.
It is tragic. Come on. And Bobby, I think that helps even with your students that you're coaching, all of that, because that can play such a significant role of how they feed into one another. And this is just, listen, y'all, we didn't talk about any of the topics. I want to talk about the Oscars. I want to talk about the election. I want to talk about Florida, all of that. But this was more imperative that we talk about this because, especially as we're doing this, parents need to stay. They must stay involved. They have to.
Marty,
and
can
be
I
an
just
integral
add
part.
a little piece to it as well?
Yes.
Not only in the education of them as they're matriculating through the halls of academia, but we also need to look at these same things as we're doing ministry. We're struggling with many of our kids because no one's sharing with us that they have an IEP or a 504, that they have behavioral issues or anything like that. And so then we've got ministries many times ill-equipped to help
That's good.
disciple our
Mm-hmm.
young
That's
people. And
good.
it is not so we can separate them necessarily, but we also have teachers in our congregations and individuals that may assist us and train us in ensuring that we're
That's good.
discipling
Mm-hmm.
our young people
Mm-hmm.
the way we need to disciple them. And we need the truth because they act like, and we're trying to figure out,
Yes.
why can't they sit down? Why are they not retaining the information? And their parents are like, I don't know, they ate some candy, they had a Pop-Tart this morning, and we're getting all of that, but we're not getting the truth. And so that is also affecting us as believers, being able to pass on the information they need so that they can make a great decision in
That's
faith
good.
as well. And so even some of those things that we're talking about passing along for sports, that same thing is important to us in the church because they're
Yes.
fellowshipping and you got people, being aggressive or what have you, and we're not knowing that they may not have the capacity to deal with sounds or
Yes.
we're
Yes.
ill-equipped many times. And so I think that's something that needs to be addressed as well, even within our churches.
I totally agreed. Wow. Y'all, can you believe we are at time? That's gone by so fast, but this was absolutely amazing topic. It's so good to have you guys
Good
back. I missed you
information.
guys like crazy. It's great
Good
information.
information tonight. I got my
Yeah.
notes up. I got my pen. I always know I'm
Yeah.
gonna get something good. I know I'm gonna get something good I call all y'all my pastors. I'm getting something good with all my pastors on here. You dig what I'm saying?
I've been writing too, Rob, because some of the stuff
Hey,
has really been helping me. But Sean brought up something very important, and I think by the time some of our kids get to high school, we're trying to redact their educational
Yes.
history and trying to make it into
Yes.
something sanitized that by the time they're getting ready to go into college, they don't have access to some of the resources they could have had access to,
That's
or
right.
either they're testing improperly where it's not lending to that, moving forward with them. And so that was very helpful for me because I'm getting parents who are like, my kids don't have what they need. They don't have what they need. But if you redact their history or sanitize it, by the time they get in college, they're not going to have access to the
Mm-hmm.
resources that are available. So now I got better understanding tonight. This helped me.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, Bishop, give us closing words from
Yes, sir.
you, and it's good to see you. Listen, we missed you. Listen, Bishop been in Shreveport, everywhere, just preaching and laying hands and throwing water on them and slaying them in the spirit and all that other stuff. Yeah,
Thank you,
God bless your
Jesus.
heart and your ministry. Yeah, hallelujah. Bishop, we missed you, man. I missed you. Listen, we got to hang out real soon. Listen, we gonna cut some
Rita,
fun in Ohio. Lord
Rita,
have
Yes,
mercy.
Rita,
yes,
Rita.
yes, yes.
I miss you. I have missed you. Rob, it's so good to see you back, Rob. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've missed you. I've missed
hey,
you.
same here, Sean. Same here, Dr. John.
I almost
No
started to
question.
send you a clip of someone and ask if you knew who it was, but I wasn't
You
gonna
know
be
who?
petty
You know,
like that.
hey, you know. Hey, you know who it is.
But
She ain't
but
been in
now
no
you
movies
know.
lately, or she would have swept them
Wait a
Oscars.
minute.
You know what I'm saying? She would have swept them Oscars. She just ain't been in no roles lately. She gonna
No,
2023 right now? She coming back
yeah.
strong with vengeance. Yes. The
Rita,
Queen's
you're a
King.
prophet, and I'm in total agreement with you. I'll just shake your head. No, there is no amen. There is no amen. There is no man to give on this conversation. We do not agree at all.
Oh yes,
How
there is.
sad
Oh
is
yes,
that?
there is. Oh yes. You gotta bless
Are we
her.
talking about
She
Kim
was heaven
Burrell?
sent. Still don't know who she is.
I did what the
Not
man said.
hardly.
I searched all over. Searched
I still
all
don't know
over.
who she is.
Yeah, couldn't
And
find
couldn't
Talking
nobody.
find
about Kim Burrell.
Why
looked
would we be
high.
talking about Kim Burrell when he don't even know who Kim Burrell is?
Yeah. Just
I
siding.
can't.
Just siding.
Listen,
But you know you got a pen though, right? You got a pen?
we gonna close.
I've Googled
Listen.
her. I Googled her. No doubt.
Listen,
I Googled her. Yeah. No question. Kim Burrell. Is it Burrell or Burrell?
We're going to move on. So listen, if you need me in any format, you're welcome to go to the church's website, www.fchouston.org, and there is a connect with me on the church's website. If you would like to email me, I am bishop@fchouston.org. If you're looking at special ed stuff and you're not sure what to do with it, or you're looking at 504 stuff and you need another set of eyes on it, please feel free to reach out to me. I've got a few friends, and we do this this is our everyday living. And so we can take a look at some of the stuff that you have and help you with it. If you're ever in Houston or in Dallas, we would love to be a part of your everyday freedom. I would love to connect with you. Again, www.fchouston.org. All of our social media platforms are all on the website.
Amen. Amen. Rob, how we get a hold of you?
Oh, definitely get a hold of me. You can go to AR Sales 2 on IG. Go to AR Sales 2 on IG. You can also go to the B-Side Podcast Q on IG. Also, you can check us out at alecroberts.com. Go to the bsidepodcast.com. And also, you can go to the sellersfoundation.com. Like you said, we're giving away scholarships for the Dr. Lee Sellers Scholarship. So, get all those names. Check me out. Like I said, the B-Side Podcast, giving you barbershop talk in your living room. So,
in your living room, Dr. Story. Yeah, barbershop talk. Well, barbershop talk is kind of spicy sometimes, right in your living room.
No, it's not. It's not spicy. It's not spicy. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk.
That's what we're talking about. It's real talk.
No sugar, no cream. I like my coffee. No sugar, no cream.
So then that makes this stuff so straight up. Folk almost need an AA meeting and some counseling afterwards. Okay, come on, Rita. Yeah, Rita, how we find you, baby, on this good earth? How we find you?
Y'all will find me at Margarita Story on Facebook and Instagram, and if they still got MySpace, yeah, that's it.
Whoa.
Did you just say MySpace?
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. She didn't stutter nothing. MySpace. Whoa.
At first I was
MySpace is still open. MySpace is still open.
So you probably got a Hotmail account too, don't you?
I certainly do. I have a Hotmail, yes, and an AOL. Why?
Yahoo! So we gonna end on that note. Yes.
Hey, one more thing. Let me get this out. I'm a little confused right now. I'm going through some things, meaning that Twitter, Elon Musk. But anyway, I'm about to wean myself off of that. Everybody, join Fanbase. Join Fanbase. That is a great outlet, great social media platform made by us. Isaac Hayes III, his son. Well, not his son, that's his name. Isaac Hayes' son, Isaac Hayes III. That is his platform. Fanbase. Check it out. Black Jesus has a platform right now. Fanbase.
Daryl,
did I say Jesus or Black Moses? Black Moses. Isaac Hayes is Black Moses. That's what it was. Isaac Hayes.
Black Jesus. What's going on?
Turn us off there. Just play the song.
Turn the mic
I love you. Be safe out there.
Get off Twitter. Get off Twitter.
Don't suffer in silence. Speak up, speak out, and live. We'll see you next week. Take us out of here, Daryl.